Hi everybody, Julia here. I'm just going to wait for a couple of minutes for people to jump on. I'm just clearing stuff out of the way so I don't kick it while I'm live. I wanted to come on live today because there was something that happened in the last few days that made me think I really need to talk about people being a little bit jealous at times. Hello to whoever is watching. I'm just going to continue on talking so that I can go for lunch in a minute. I've actually written down quite a few notes, and if I'm looking to the left or the right or wherever I can put this now, that is why. So let me know in the comments below if you can hear and see me fine. Sometimes the reception where I live is a little bit shitty. I want to talk about jealousy today in business because I think this is something that a lot of us are suffering from, whether that is ourselves. Hi Samantha, thanks for the heart back. Whether that is us looking at someone else's business and going, oh man, how come they're doing all this? This is something that I've strived to be, and some people take it in a really positive way when someone else is better than them, and then awesome, everyone's giving me the thumbs up, all good. And then some people take it in a really negative way and are so jealous that it kind of eats them up inside. And I just want to tell you a couple of my personal stories that I had. Let's say, for example, and I'm looking at notes here, just in case you're wondering. Hi, Solange. I'm just going to say hello to everybody. Jessica's here, Amanda is here, Paola is here, and I can't see the rest now because it's gone up already. Anyway, so how to overcome jealousy. I think it's really, really important because we are suffering from it and it's not going to do our business any good. So let's say you walk into a salon yourself and you get your lashes done. You look at it and it looks more beautiful than your salon. They have more staff than your salon if you have staff, and everything just looks, just feels different to what you have, and you become really kind of, you kind of tighten up your chest a little bit, and you get a little bit envious and jealous about it. Hi Rachel, hi Jennifer, and hi Colby. And you feel that while you're there, you're enjoying the service, but once you walk out, you kind of feel deflated because you feel like you haven't really gotten that far. Or you see someone online succeeding more and in an ad, or they're getting more engagement on their comments than you, and it makes you kind of feel down a little bit and not valued as much, and like you can never be that sort of person that they are. And I wanted to come on today to tell you that firstly, that's not something that we should think, and secondly, it's probably not even true. And thirdly, I want to share with you a few steps that will help you to overcome this jealousy, actually turn it around and help you to become better, more positive, more energetic, and much more creative in the space of what you're doing. I know a lot of you are not just doing lashes. A lot of you are doing beauty altogether, spray tanning. You may have a proper salon where you offer all kinds of beauty services. And I think it's really important that we kind of turn this jealousy around. While there's good jealousy and really, really bad envious jealousy that kind of eats you up inside. I want to tell you a little bit about and I'm looking at my notes here, that I did last night, about something that I did, and that was years ago. That was probably about 10 years ago, when I was still quite a jealous person, and I would let people know, and I went really like angry with myself, thinking that I wasn't good enough and I would never be as good as other people would be. And that was when I was actually doing bridal makeup. So the story was that I was doing bridal makeup every other weekend. I was advertising as good as I could. I was out every weekend to try and get new business in. And I just wasn't doing the right things because I didn't really know exactly how to get the clients into the door. Very different to today, where I actually teach you now how to do this in my mastermind. And then I came across one girl. So I was doing makeup at this wedding, and the other girl, her name is Susie. We're still connected today. She was doing hair at that wedding, and I just looked at the way that she was talking to people. She was much more upbeat, and she actually got someone to rebook someone else that was there to book her for another wedding, and I was just standing there shy. I wasn't as outspoken as I am these days. And I then started following Susie on social media, and I saw how busy she was. And I just got so envious with her work, how busy she was, that I actually personally stopped doing many weddings because I thought I wasn't as good as her, and I never told her that. And I think it would have been much more clever of me to tell her, oh my God, I really love what you do. You can even tell the people, if they are your friends, whether that is to do in business or jealousy because they're too skinny or whatever, like we can go to the gym and I actually had a talk with my client about this earlier. You can go to the gym, you can be that person that looks at someone else that is more beautiful and more skinny than you, and you can look at them in envy and say, stupid skinny bitch, so full up herself and just arrogant. Or you can be that person that says, oh my God, this person has probably worked so hard that they have achieved this body. This is something that I'm going to strive to be. How can I get there? Go to them and talk to them and ask them, and they won't go like, I'm not going to tell you how I got skinny. Like, that's not what people will do. Oh, love you too, Lynn. Thank you. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Nacha. So this is something I was talking to one of my students, one of my clients earlier today, that, you know, we grow up that way, that we're all pack people, yeah? We are all like wolves, for example. We're all striving to be as good as this group is. So if you think to yourself, and I hope I say that the right way now, this was explained to me earlier, when you are in the gym, for example, and you are this type of person who is just negatively looking at other people, hi Brent, then you assume everybody else will also think that way, that you just are getting together in this little pack of people, and you're just like, this person is a bitch, this person is too skinny, like how are they so skinny, and just go yada, 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 on about your negative bubble, creating this whole negativity around you because you're so jealous. Or you could be in the group, the pack of people that is positive and embracing change and wanting to be like others and strive to be like others. So it really is all in your head of how you not perceive others, but how you value inside what they have achieved and how you can get there. So when I did this bridal makeup, back to my story, I was so jealous, I literally almost stopped doing bridal, until then one day I just thought, this is enough. Like, I cannot live like that. I was literally feeling physically ill, going onto her Facebook, and I got so jealous that I was just in a really, really, really bad mood all day. Let me just read this quote. Samantha says, so you're so right, it's a state of mind. You have to mold in a positive way. Oh, now it's gone. Oh, here we go. Look at other artists as inspiration. If you let it overtake you in negative manner, it will always bring you and your business down. Comparing is not a positive tool, and the energy inevitable affects your business. Very, very, very true. Very true, yeah. So I then started to look at her in a different way when I did the bridal makeup, and I started to ask her questions, and I said, so, you know, I was really envious, and I was so vulnerable and true about it that it kind of made me feel so relieved after I told her that I was actually envious of her, but in a positive way. I didn't say, oh my God, you like so much better, I'll never get there. I say, you have been doing it for a few more years than me. Do you have any tips and tricks? Because we actually started working together. She did hair, I did makeup, or sometimes I did hair and she did makeup. They were actually joined forces to do bigger bridal groups. And I only stopped working with her maybe about 2 years ago because, you know, I was concentrating on other things. So I was asking her how she did it. She didn't obviously give everything away, but I was kind of molding myself to not completely copy what she was doing, but embracing her energy and just being around her and trying to find out business tips and tricks from her. And I literally was so busy with the weddings myself that I had to say 2 years ago, I'm not going to do any more weddings because I want to concentrate on other stuff. And got to my family, because I was literally doing 3 weddings every weekend, and it was great money, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. But that was just my little anecdote from back in the day when I was really envious of others. And so today I find I look at people more, and there's a lot of people that are much better than me. There's a lot of people who do better lashes than me, who are probably better teachers than me. But I just look at them now and think, how can I get to where you are, and what steps do I need to take? So when you are just envying someone else's growth, personally, you're not going to be able to grow, because this envy is going to eat you up, and it's not going to make you open to receive and actually see what good things you can do yourself. Katrina says, I think also sometimes what you see, especially on social, isn't always the truth, or you only see the good pictures. Trust in yourself in this tribe. That is another thing that is very true. But, when I look at other people teaching and posting their pictures of millions of students they had, I also think, and this is something I wrote down. Let me just find it. This was actually really, really good. Okay, I wrote down, never compare your beginnings to someone else's middle. That means you are starting out here, and you're looking at all these people on social media that are amazing, but you don't know what they have gone through. You don't know how long they have been going through it. Also, you don't know what sort of circumstances they're in. Do they have more money, perhaps a bigger budget to spend on advertising? Sometimes, it looks amazing. You have this big salon that you look at, and they have like 10 staff, but these sort of overheads they have. Do you know what I mean? The overheads they have is not something that you think of when you look at a salon that is busy and amazing and beautiful. It would cost thousands of dollars to set everything up, hundreds of thousands even sometimes in some cases. And then she has to pay her staff, this person, the rent and everything. It's a lot of money. And then the profit is really what you need to look at. If you're looking at a huge salon, they may have also a bigger profit if they are working very smart and know how to systemize and actually be good at money and handling money and making money grow. But I have heard of a lot of people who have made more money in their little home studio and then opened up a bigger salon and failed miserably because they had all these overheads. So they actually made more profit just themselves working from home than opening up this big salon. But on social media, it looks like they have all these clients and all these staff, and everyone goes out and has a staff meeting, like a lunch. They go out and have cocktails. It looks all amazing, but you don't know what happens behind the scenes. Candace says, the struggle is real. I will never post a negative post, even though I'm having the worst day or week ever. We want everyone to see the positives. Trust me, this industry is tough. Yeah, it is very tough. And I used to be the type of person who would always kind of word vomit how she felt. And I still do to a certain extent. But I think if you just try and wake up in the morning straight up when you feel like you need this positivity straight up in the day, you listen, maybe do a little bit of meditation. I listen to 10 minutes in the morning if I have time. And my kids don't wake up before me, to just like positive reinforcing words, like not really meditating too much because I can't meditate very well in the morning because I know my kids will wake up, but just kind of not getting up thinking, oh shit, I have all this stuff to do. This salon is doing better than me. This person is doing better than me on social media. This person is skinnier. Just wake up and think, what steps do I need to take today to grow as a person for myself? Do not compare yourself to anyone else, because you never know where they are or where they have been and the struggle they have had to go through to where they are today, if they are very successful. Yeah. Let me just check if there's anything else that I wrote down. Okay, yeah, so the one thing, the few points that I made. So if you see someone who's more successful than you, you need to ask yourself, how long have they been doing it? What is their experience? And at what price do they sell their services or products? Because if you are really, really cheap, then obviously you're never going to make as much money as other people who are much more expensive and make more profit, obviously. And also, how much money do they pay to set up their business? And I said that earlier. Their profit might not be as large because their overheads are just kind of overweighing the rest. And also, what sort of advertising do they do? What sort of business development? Like, if you are just sitting at home, and I used to be like that. I used to just sit at home and watch this reality TV, and I go, oh, I want to look like Kim Kardashian. And you're not going to be able to look like Kim Kardashian, like the figure. If you're just sitting at home watching it, you need to take an initiative, and that's a silly comparison. But if you are wanting to be somewhere in business, you need to take the initiative and not just look at others and be jealous about it. You need to find out, what are they doing? You need to break down in steps what you have to do to get there. I always like to work backwards and think, okay, where do I want to be in a year's time? I don't usually have a 5-year plan. I always go by a year plan because my head just doesn't work in 5 years in advance. So I work like backwards. Okay, in 1 year or in 12 months' time, I want to have 100 new students. So I work back. How many students do I have to have per month? This and this many. How many is that per week? This and this many. Okay, so let's say I need 5 students per week to make this and this sort of amount of money. And you can do that with your sets of lashes as well, is that you can then work back. What do I need to invest to actually be able to take those clients on? How many hours a week do I have to work to do that? So if you break it down in little steps and work backwards from your initial goal, it will make it much, much easier for you to work in these little chunks, rather than me sitting here now and going, oh my God, I want to have 100 students or clients or whatever. I want to sell this and this much product per year. I have no idea how to get there. Break it down and work backwards and steps. Samantha says, social media is a tricky thing. When I get comments, you're doing so well. I think about all the clientless days. I sit in a bed doing Instagram. Well, we got to do the Instagram, the Facebooking and everything. Like, not everybody is 100% booked out all the time. Some people are, I know they are. But, you know, we kind of have to be honest about it as well. I hate it when people just say, oh, my books are full, completely full. I'm booked out for years or months in advance. And they only say that to sound like they're more busy. I think it's good to show a little bit of vulnerability and maybe offer a special here and there to get more clients in, and not to be completely like up yourself. Because the more you tell your brain, hi Desiree, the more you tell your brain that you are doing one particular thing, but it's not the truth, at some stage your brain will believe it. And that's why it's so important that we tell ourselves how amazing we are every day, and not how shitty our day will be. Because if you tell yourself every day, if you wake up in the morning and say, oh my God, this day is going to be crap, I'm not going to have any bookings, I'm not going to have any clients, you will train your brain. This is like scientifically proven. You will train your brain to actually think that way. And this will then project to what happens, and it will happen. Like the law of attraction. I've written a blog about it. I'm very, very a big believer in attracting the way that you put out as well, if that makes sense. It's easy to make life look beautiful. It is easy to make life look beautiful, and I think still do it. But if you only pretend the whole time, then nothing will grow there either. Like, you need to pretend like you're always happy to kind of be happy, but not pretend like you're always busy and not do anything about it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, I do specials often. I get a good response often, and out of 10 clients, some will come back. Well, there you go. It's good to have a special here and there. Like, for my business personally, because I don't take on any new clients, I don't do any specials, because if I do a special now, it devalues my services, right? But if you're a brand new salon and you're not busy and you haven't got anyone booked in, don't be so, I don't know, self-absorbed to think, oh, I cannot discount or whatever. Yeah, it's fine. Like, you need to get clients in. Do you know what I mean? Let me just see if I've written anything else down. Have you ever felt like you're really envious about someone else and it's actually turned into shit for yourself? Let me know in the comments below. And have you ever tried it the other way around, when you are really envious about something or someone and actually looked at what they're doing exactly, maybe not copy exactly what they're doing, but tried to implement some of the steps they are doing, and it's really worked out well for you? Let me know down below as well. I've written down as well, envy will work in a very, very toxic way, and it will hinder you from becoming really great at what you want to achieve. Yeah. Candace says, Julia, when did you realize or get to the point you needed outside help with social media? I realized that when I wasn't sleeping very much, and that was about a year ago when Lash Tribe really took off. I was trying to do everything. I was trying to be everything for everybody and answer everybody's question at all times. And I did Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. They're my three main sources of traffic for Lash Tribe, and my website, obviously. And when I was sitting in front doing social media while I was actually playing with my kids, and I was not in bed until 2 a.m., getting back up at 6 a.m., that's when I realized, all right, I need some help. So that's when I actually engaged with Outsourcing Angel. I can actually post a link for you below and above the video. They are amazing. So I have people now who manage all of that sort of stuff. I have people who manage my Facebook posts that you see every day. I don't do any of this anymore. I do give the people the ideas, and it's taken 2 or 3 months for Desiree and myself to really get to know each other and how I tick. I have Velmay helping me with answering messages through Lash Tribe, so it's not always me answering. 80% of the time she's answering everything through the Facebook page. And then Instagram, we also have help. And yes, it costs a little bit of money initially, but it frees up so much of my time that now I can actually spend the time on doing tasks that actually make more money, as in creating content. Velmay is a blessing. Paula says, back home we have a saying, good envy. It means we feel envy for others but turn it into a driving force to strive to be and do better. And that's exactly what this video is all about. And I know that a lot of us kind of crawl into our little, what is the saying in English? English is still my second language. Crawling into our little shell or whatever you call it. And we don't want to get out because we look at all these amazing things that people are doing. But instead of turning that around and making it work for us so that we can research why these people are so successful, we just stay in our little shell and we get really depressed. I was really depressed back then, honestly. I was angry, I was snappy, I was depressed, and I thought everything is shit and I'm shit, my work is shit, and the whole world is shit. Basically. Yeah. Desiree says, not me. Oh my God. So if we think, wow, this business is doing amazing, we need to learn from that and have a look at how they're doing it. So have a look at their social media, have a look at their website, have a look and maybe even go in as like a mystery shopper. In a good way, obviously. We don't want to go in and look just for the flaws. We want to go in and experience why this salon is amazing, and maybe we can take some away from that. And just have a look at the sort of clientele they attract as well. And if that's the sort of clientele that you have, and if it's not, why? Make a list of pros and cons of what you are really good at and what you think needs some more development. And you may have to take some courses for that, or you may have to get someone else to help you manage your social media, or maybe help someone to redesign your website and do your branding new for you, because all of that's obviously part of why businesses are succeeding. And one of the most important things is obviously you. So if you are not the type of person that is open and welcoming and friendly, and your salon doesn't give that same vibe, then you're not going to attract as many clients as someone who is embracing everybody as a completely positive mindset. Mindset is not something that will happen from today till tomorrow. That took me a good 2 to 3 years, and I would highly recommend you listen to things like Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk. By the way, Gary Vaynerchuk is coming to Brisbane. I just bought a ticket today. Whoever knows Gary Vaynerchuk, give me a quick thumbs up. Do you know Gary Vaynerchuk? Thumbs up. You need to go and see him. He's amazing. He's a bit of he's very arrogant, but he knows his stuff, and he just says it how it is. In like a 1 minute video, he literally just turns it around. When you're in a really shitty mood, go onto his channel and he will get you out of that mood in an instance. And Tony Robbins obviously is one of the people as well. I haven't seen him yet, but I really want to see him in Australia. He's quite expensive. I think his 3-day event is like $4,000 or something like that. But yeah, I do want to do it one day. Positive thinking brings positive things into your life. I live by that. It is very, very true. Law of attraction. And then, yeah, so write a list of whatever you think you want to implement in your business. And, you know, some things you may want to implement straight away. Some things are probably something that is more of a long-term goal. For example, the social media. You're not going to get thousands of followers from, you know, from today till tomorrow. This is something that you need to, you know, work ahead, plan it out, sit down on a Sunday night, do your posts up. But sitting at home, looking at everybody in envy is not going to make your business grow at all. What else? Oh yeah, and if you are going into the salon, like as a mystery shopper, for example, you can have a look at how they're treating their staff as well. I think that shows a lot on how successful a business can be, is how are they getting along. And you can feel if there's a funny vibe, like when you go into a salon, you just feel if people are getting along or they don't. Do you know what I mean? It's just something that if you have a salon with staff that you really need to embrace for yourself and do all the positive stuff that other salons are doing. See, write a list of the systems that you think they might be using, support that they have for staff and hiring. I think that's about all that I've written down. And the last thing I've written down is, over time you will become actually really, really excited and start following others that are more successful and try and embrace everything that they're doing without copying. Yeah, I would never ever copy anyone and take all their ideas, turn them into something that is more something that you would do and mold it towards you. However, the systems that are in place for really successful people, like I always say, follow the success, because you're gonna, you know, it's the same with surround yourself with the 3 to 5 most influential people in your life, and that will reflect on the type of person that you are as well. Let me just quickly have a look at Samantha. Having come from very little, my mother makes sure I stay grounded. Whenever my attitude turns from inspired to impatient or jealous, she puts me back in place. I love that. That's awesome. Great mama to have. I try to be as transparent as possible through business and people. I think opening up can really strengthen you in the long term. Very, very true. Yeah, definitely have a good head on your shoulders. Candace says, does anyone ask their spouses for help with their business? I do, and I've got to be careful because Justin might be on. I sometimes feel bad asking him for help because he works from 9 to 5 and he comes home, and if I ask, you know, can you do this or this, I always feel like he doesn't really want to do it, but I know he would. If I asked him, he would help me in anything. But one thing that he helps me with the most is helping to look after the kids while I'm traveling and while I'm teaching. That is my biggest help. But in the business itself, like at home, when I pack up orders or when I do stuff on my computer, I have to answer emails and all that, I don't involve him in that. However, in the beginning, he did help me pack up orders. I've still got to pack up orders, by the way. They're like waiting for me. I've got to get to that. It's only 1:30, so I'll be right. But yeah, my spouse supports me in the way that freeing up my time by looking after the kids, which is amazing. And not every husband does that. Not everyone is, you know, not like a homestay dad. He's not a homestay dad, but not every male would be as supportive with the kids as mine is. Add your own personal touch. Yeah, very, very true. Your hubby is your account manager. I love it. I actually think if my husband and myself would just run a business together, just the two of us, we would clash. I don't think it would work. We actually thought about applying at My Kitchen Rules and what's that building show now? The Block we have in Australia, where couples get together and develop these amazing houses and build things. I think we would clash so much, but I'm sure it would be highly entertaining. It would be highly entertaining. My boyfriend sometimes reviews my images. That's awesome. Actually, Justin, when he's on here, he goes, "Oh my God, Julia." It doesn't, like, I'm lying. He does help with the group sometimes, like he approves people or he deletes and blocks things. He goes through and says, "These are not good lashes, are they?" So he knows by now. Yes, we argue every little point. Didn't see eye to eye. He didn't understand a woman's perspective on what women want and look at. Yeah, see, some people don't, and yeah, that's fair enough. And his father's my accountant. That's awesome. I always think if it works out, that's great. But I always think if you are working together as a couple, or if you have friends working for you, sometimes if that turns to shit, that is really, really dangerous, and it can actually really damage a relationship or a friendship. So yeah, does anyone have anything else to say? There's quite a few of us on. I've talked for about 30 minutes now. I'm feeling much better now too, and thank you everybody for messaging me. I think it was the plane. I just got really sick and I had this pressure in my ears that when the plane came down, it was literally coming down so quickly. My water bottle went like and shrunk back together because of the pressure, and I opened it up and it shrunk back. You could literally watch it. And I think my ears didn't like that. So I was feeling really nauseous for the last 3 days. I think it was like travel sickness. Thanks for going live. You're welcome. Kayla, what did you miss? What didn't you miss? Like everything. What time is it now in Canada, my love? I think that's all we had to cover. So if you're just joining now, make sure you go ahead and rewatch it. And I'm going to pack up my orders now. And for those of you who are in my mastermind, I will go on live probably in a couple of hours time to talk about the first month and see how everybody's going. And if you're not in my mastermind yet, you might want to check that out because it's amazing. Anyway, Kayla's working. Good on you. I love you all. Thank you so much for being in this group and for being amazing and really, really helpful with everybody on here as well. So yeah. Thanks, Lisa. I will see you all very, very soon, I hope.